We've been given a story problem and we're going to build an equation with the given information, and then we're going to use the equation to answer a question. So we have an owner of a recreation area that's filling a small pond with water. They're adding water at a rate of 25 liters per minute. There are 700 liters in the pond to start with. If you have the equation y equals mx plus b in a story problem, you want to know that it's set up your x's and y's. The y is going to be whatever you're going to use the equation to find. X will be your input, and then your slope is a rate. And then your y-intercept, you know that your b is your y-intercept, and you know that's a point where the line crosses the y-axis. So if you look at the label on the y-axis, it's the same thing as the beginning amount of whatever the label is on the y-axis. Okay, so let's go ahead and build our equation here. Starting off with y equals mx plus b. My y in this one, it asked me to let W represent the total amount of water in the pond, and eventually asks me to use that to find the total amount of water in the pond. So I know that this variable right here is going to be the W, because I'm going to use this equation to find the amount of water in the pond. Then the other variable that it talks about is T, and that's going to represent the total amount of minutes. So instead of X, I'm going to put capital T. All right, so instead of using X's and Y's, I'm going to use W's and T's. To create the equation, I need to find the M and the B. Now let's start off with the B value. B again is your y-intercept. It's the beginning amount on the y-axis. And so our y-axis is W, so it's the beginning amount of W, the beginning amount of water. So looking through here, it says there are 700 liters in the pond to start with. So I know that the B value is going to be 700. Okay, again, the labeling is crucial because if this is the starting amount on the y-axis, so it's the starting amount of W. Okay, next I want to find the slope, and slope is a rate. Those two words are interchangeable, slope and rate. Rate is rise over run, and think about a rise. When we're talking about these variables, rise is y-axis over run x-axis. So it's going to be about water over time, y over x. So looking at the given information for something that is comparing the water to the time, it says they're adding water at a rate, the word rate means slope, of 25 liters water per minute over time. So I have my rate is going to be 25 liters per minute. Now if I simplify that, that's just going to be 25. I have everything I need to write my equation. My B value, my beginning amount of water, is 700, and then the rate is 25. Okay, so when you're writing these equations, step one, figure out what letters you're going to use instead of X and Y. The Y value is always going to be what it is you're going to use the equation to find. So eventually I'm being asked to find the amount of water. That's why I know this one was W. That leaves the other variable to be T. And then this is always going to be the beginning amount of this one. So the beginning amount of water in this case. And this is your rate. Rise over run is going to be Y over X. So this label over this label. So water over time. Now that I have my equation, I can answer any question I want. and it asks me to use the equation to find the total amount of water after 13 minutes. So using this equation, I'm going to go in and replace the time with 13. So here's my equation. I just rewrote it. And then now I'm going to substitute the time with 13, multiplying 25 times 13 and then adding 700. I get 1,025. And again, this is the amount of water. So I can say that we have 1,025 specifically, liters.